the one thing everybody always wants to know is, how do you start?
Yeah. There's no one formula to starting, right? The only key to starting is starting small, starting with whatever resources you have. So whether you was out in the park, you know what I mean, having a rap and perform and entertain people, whether I was on the street selling hats,
Right.
I took the shot and did it. I didn't say, man, I need a big budget. I need to design this. I can't, I just had to do it. I just had to get out there and keep doing it. And that's the most important thing that anybody, and that's the successful people, that's what they do.
I think I can attest to that. Now, you turned a $40 budget for FUBU into a $6 billion company. Okay. Now, I've seen some pretty miraculous things, you know what I'm saying? $40 into $6 billion is kind of unheard of. How did you do that?
When you put it in context, it sounds crazy like that, but I think every one of us has turned pennies into something. You remember, the $40 was really me just going out and selling hats on the corner that I made. I would close that business 3 times from 89 to 92 because I would run out of $2,000.
Right.
Be like, I ain't doing this no more.
Right.
Then people started saying, yo, man, remember when I bought a hat of that shirt? I've been looking for you. I need it again. And I'd be like, man, I love what I'm doing here.
Right.
All right, I'm going to make some more. So then I'd run out of another $2,000. Then I'd run out of another $2,000. But then I started, every single time that I have failed, I started to learn what I needed better.
Right.
And that's how you take that 40 or $2 or $0 and turn it into, whatever it is. It's just the origin of the story is $40. And the reason why we share that is because I don't want people out there saying, yo, you need money to make money, because you don't.
So the lessons are truly in the losses.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think that we all can agree that we learn much more from the lessons than we do from the much more from the losses.
People who are successful, like you and I, who are sharing a level of success, whatever we deem success be, right?
Sure.
It's always the losses. Most people I see with successful companies or careers, they started the first time with the company and they didn't have the right legal structure.
Right.
Closed it. Next time they had the right legal structure, but they didn't have financing. Close it. Next time, legal structure, financing, but not distribution. Close it. By the time they get to 5 or 10, they got everything in place.
Right.
You know what I mean? But they had to
They had to go through the motions.
They had to go through the motions.
I mean, I think that's true for a lot of us. I think Jay dropped his first album, didn't do so well, and came back and doubled down. It was a cult classic in the hood. Yeah. But as far as commercial success, when everybody was going triple and quadruple platinum, he was like, inching that goal. However independent, he parlayed that into a better situation for himself, and I also took that path. You know what I'm saying? So I can understand, exactly how one, has to take matters into their own hands.
But you also kept trying, right? I saw you, listen, I saw that you went out and you did a TV show, right? Nobody said that was going to work or not, right? But you did it. You weren't embarrassed to say, what if it doesn't work? What if I get canceled? You say, yo, then you go and do a podcast. Then you go and do all the things. Then you venture into other capital businesses and stuff like that. But it's usually the people who are so afraid, they make excuses on why it can't be done, that don't get it done. And instead of just failing, fuck it, you failed.
Right. I mean, I think there's a lot to be said for that. Like, okay, so going from, selling hats out on the corner and, closing businesses and opening them up, living from, I guess, shipment to shipment. What was the first sign of success that you can recall?
I think the first sign of success is, my life is, like all of us, has been many little successes leading up to others. The first sign of success was I got a store to carry my stuff, and now they're selling out of it. A small store, didn't matter. But now I'm getting proof of concept. Now I'm starting to understand what's selling.
Right.
Starting as a designer, we all want to make a million colors, a million styles.
Right.
So what did I do? I stood outside and I found out the store would sell, and even now it's true in fashion. I made 10 colors, but the store sold 60% of black and 20% of white.
Right.
So now I cut my SKUs down to white, black, and blue.
That's right.
I had 10 logos. Only wanted 2 type of logos, the FB and the other one. So I cut my logos down. Right. They only wanted double X at the time, because back then nobody's wearing no shirt that says small. You know what I mean? They wanted it. So that was the first success, getting to test that, right?
Right.
Because you see on Shark Tank, we always say, what are your sales? The reason why we're asking your sales is we want to know who's your customer, right? Because if you don't know who your customer is, then how am I going to invest in you? Because then I don't know who your customer is.
That's right.
Right? Then the next success was I went to Vegas and I did a trade show and I wrote $300,000 in orders.
Dope.
Then I'd come back and I'd start making the orders. I would almost lose my house and go bankrupt because I didn't know how money worked. Took an ad in the newspaper and Samsung Textile Division called and said, we want to manufacture and distribute your clothes. LL Cool J putting FUBU in the Gap ad. All these are a bunch of successes to me that added up.
Certainly. Now, LL just like haphazardly just did that, or did you guys already kind of like have some form of an agreement?
We had some form of an agreement, but he did that on his own. I mean, listen, a lot of people want people of your nature and various other people or me or who are influencers, but L was an influencer and a mentor,
right.
and he lived the product. He really believed in our mission, and he would have done it no matter what because he felt that the mission needed to be heard, and he put that in the Gap ad. Now that was crazy. I mean, he technically could have got sued for that.
Word.
You know what I mean? Because he's going off script, and they could have said, "Yo, what are you doing here?" You know what I mean? They could have just said, "Here's damages." And they could have probably tried to sue him for hundreds of millions of dollars. Say, yo, you just damaged our brand.
Damn.